why you need in fact to buy these used luxury vehicles and not new. If you can get the same value, the same vehicle, and the same experience for half or 2/3 the money, why wouldn't you? Well, I need warranty and they're expensive to maintain and service. Well, have you ever heard of CPO warranty or extended warranties at the dealer level? Or have you ever honed up on your DIY skills? There's lots of information on the internet to close the loop on some of those challenges. But I'm going to give you a few examples of why, in fact, you really do need to buy yourself a used luxury car and not new. Let's get into it now.
Life's too short to drive boring cars.
I'm going to give you some examples of why these owners who got literally roasted when they bought these vehicles new are now just in a position where they're handing you that gift. It's a proverbial automotive gift from the gods, and it's this beautiful vehicle right here. What are we looking at? Well, it's clearly an Audi, and this is the RSQ8. Well, what's an RSQ8, you ask? Well, let's just say it starts around 145 grand. It's not uncommon to find these spec'd up to close to $200,000 US with carbon fiber and all of the extras. But these are exceptionally beautiful vehicles, not just to look at, but also to drive. Did you also know that this is a reskinned Porsche Cayenne Turbo S as well? More importantly, the Lamborghini Urus. That's right, a Lamborghini Urus, which costs over $400,000. You can have essentially the same engine, gearbox, and the chassis is all the same as the Lamborghini Urus with a slight softening because it is an Audi product. Ever since I saw these vehicles come out, I just fell in love with them. And then along came the Lamborghini Urus and I thought, oh, I love to have one of those, but it's just not in the budget. But then I looked at this and I read the specs and I realized the VAG group and Lamborghini are all intertwined. Let's just entertain me for a second. Why, in fact, I truly believe a used luxury vehicle is a much better deal. You do get all the beautiful touches, typical Audi detailing like this. Light bar is great. Lots of accents like this. Big, massive pipes. Look at this. Wow. And then we look right here, we have these beautiful little trims around here, beautiful accents, more aggressive rocker panels. Look at this two-tone. I love this. Wow, what a beautiful detail. And then look, lots of glass on top to illuminate for all the happy people in there, but usually they're passing out from the sheer acceleration and the blistering performance, so they don't really even realize what's going on or enjoying the sunlight, because this vehicle is absolutely breathtaking. Look at these massive wheels. We've got a 23-inch rim here, obviously holding onto those skins, and obviously easy access in. We have carbon fiber, quilted seats, big LEDs, big bold chin spoilers. I love this grille here, and this is the RSQ8 as already mentioned. And the beautiful thing here is this comes equipped with an aggressive automatic transmission and, more importantly, a 4-liter V8 engine that's twin turbocharged that makes well over 600 ponies. And the beauty is this car, this SUV, when it came out was about $150,000 in base trim, and it just went up from there. It wasn't uncommon out the door to spend 180, 190 grand for these. But now looking all over the internet here in the trader for different models of this type, and it's very easy to find vehicles like this with low mileage, because remember, most people aren't miling these out very much. So a lot of these vehicles I'm finding on the trader here with only 8, 10,000 miles, 12,000 miles, and they're going for as little as $80,000, $90,000. Even the premium ones with only a couple thousand miles on them are going for just around 100 grand. That's a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 hit in 2 years. Those are 22 model years with almost no miles on them, demo mileage. And you can have that level of performance and that luxury for literally 60 to 70% of its original value. Why would you get into this mess? When you buy them used, you'll usually get all the paint protection film, all the coverages. Sometimes they do put extra CPO warranty on there to extend the life of this vehicle. And you literally are buying a vehicle that is almost brand new for pennies on the dollar. That's why I couldn't even imagine buying an RSQ8 brand new. But instead, I love bang for buck. I would certainly buy this used. There's another one right here, a BMW M5 Competition. I reviewed one of these a few years back, 2019 or so. Absolutely ridiculous performance, well over 600 ponies. This puts down serious levels of performance with the M5 Comp. Of course, LED lights, beautiful laser cut rims. I love this vehicle, absolutely gorgeous. You have the carbon fiber roof on this too. Nice little upgrade there, beautiful. You get the M5, it looks like a Stingray there, but look, laser LEDs, angel eye headlights, and of course this big bold aggressive kidney grills right here. And again, we have the M5 badging to tell you that this vehicle is serious bananas. Brand new, this was about 140 grand Canadian, US probably around that $100,000. Now after about 4 years, you're able to find these vehicles with low mileage on them for $70,000, $80,000. meaning again 65, 67, 70% of its original value, and a lot of them have almost no miles on them because very few people actually daily drive these, and they become more of a nice day out, take the family, maybe go for a back road hoot, and then basically that's it. So massive amounts of deals. Another example why I would much rather buy an M5 Competition, slightly used, maybe grab a little bit of CPO warranty on the back end of it, protect myself financially, and then get my hands on a beautiful new M5 Competition. And then we have another fine example right here, something a little more mainstream, but still in the luxury car segment. We actually have the coupe version of this ourselves personally. We have a Mercedes C300 Coupe. It's got the shadow trim in the dark. It's the AMG package, a beautiful little car. Here we actually have the GLC 300. This is a 4MATIC all-wheel drive, all four wheels clomping at the asphalt. And this is a very desirable but relatively mainstream SUV in the Mercedes-Benz lineup. And these start at around 50 grand, 55 if you put some spec to them, and well, upgrade some of the shadow trim and some of the extras, then you're at literally closer to $60,000 out the door for some of these GLC 300s like we're looking at here. But I looked all over the net, and after about 2 years later, it's very easy to find vehicles like this with 15, 20,000 miles, 25,000 miles on them that are selling for 65% of their original value. You can literally save $15, $20, or $25,000 just by buying it 2 or 3 years old. The beauty is 3 years gives you warranty. If you want a little extra and the vehicle you're shopping for has been checked out, you've done the pre-purchase inspection, you've done the Carfax, it has no accident history, the mechanics have gone through it, it also has never been flooded and there's no black stains, the dealers are willing to offer up a CPO additional warranty, might get you a little bit extra longevity in the life. What's wrong with going with that? It's the experience. Let's face it, most people don't keep these vehicles for 10 or 15 or 20 years. You may think you are. Statistically, most people that are buying modern day luxury cars are pretty much done with them, bored with them within 3 to 4 years. I'd almost bet dollars to donuts, even if you think you're going to keep that vehicle forever, chances are you're not. So you just want to get in, get out with minimal loss. Get in brand new and you're going to take the biggest hit. Get in 3 years later, you're going to save that first $15,000 to $20,000 depreciation, and that's where the hugest bang for buck is. Beautiful Acura MDX, another fine example. You get these brand new for 50 grand or thereabouts, and then you get in, get out. Now the only difference is a vehicle like this is a little more utilitarian. Even though it's a luxury brand, often a lot of these Acuras are used very much like a Honda, which is their baby brother version, and so a lot of these do get a lot of miles. So it's actually hard to find a very nicely equipped, nicely used, or low mileage version of one of these vehicles. But you too can get in for 50, and honestly pick one of these up here after 2 or 3 years with relatively moderate miles. You can get one for 30 grand and save yourself a whole ton of money, 20 grand, and you can literally put that money for holidays, trips, maybe put the kids in swimming lessons. The son can maybe finally play hockey. Whatever it is, you can get in and out with minimal loss if you're already cutting into half of the depreciation curve. Remember, that first 1 to 3 years is the biggest level of depreciation every single car sees, and the luxury car segment takes a especially big hit. So that's why buying a used luxury vehicle is way better than buying one brand new. Now let's just say you want to get into the electrified market. I mean, here's an example of a modern day electric vehicle done the luxury car segment way. And right here we have a Porsche Taycan right here. As you can see, all dressed in white, absolutely beautiful vehicle. Not everybody wants Teslas. Teslas, yes, they have the charging stations, they have the name, the reputation, the technology worked out, but brands like this clearly have a much better branding overall as a brand. Of course, they do have these interesting headlights, laser cut rims, some plug-in. Of course, you get these flush handles and this big glass roof on top, little wing that retracts, and this is the Taycan 4S. Now the beauty is, if you're buying a used luxury vehicle in the electrified market, that's where the huge win is. Buying these new is exceptionally expensive, but getting into a 1 or 2 year old Porsche Taycan, or even worse, an Audi e-tron GT, people are buying those for $150,000, $200,000, and then a year later they're only worth 50% or even less. As 1 year older with only 5,000, 2,000, 8,000 miles on them, they're taking a literal beating on the used car segment. And that's why vehicles like this represent some phenomenal deals on the used car market. Why would you ever buy this new when you can buy it slightly used? The seats don't even have a crinkle in them yet. The charging station's only probably been used 4 or 5 times, but yet you can get into this for pennies on the dollar. Now, there is one exception. A vehicle like a Porsche 911, same brand, yet this is one of their internal combustion vehicles, tried and true, everybody knows. The rear engine, obviously ICE, internal combustion vehicle, They come with dual clutch gearboxes, twin turbo flat sixes, absolutely blistering performance, fun, frivolous, and these are what Porsche formed their reputation on, for racing, the heritage, the style, the profile. But these, unfortunately, are an example of a used vehicle that you don't want to buy. You're better off buying one of these brand new, because Porsche 911s are one of the best vehicles for holding their value for the long haul. So there's no point in coming along trying to think you're going to get a great deal on a 3 or 4-year-old Porsche 911 Carrera 4S like this, because you're probably not. You're probably going to still spend 85–90% of its original value. You must just step up, buy it brand new. The only way that these can be worth their time is getting a new one. The used ones, unless you go so far, I mean, I'm talking 15 or 20 years old, then you're starting to pick away through some of the scraps and you might find some great deals. But generally, a Porsche 911 is one of those rare exceptions of why you wouldn't necessarily buy them used. And then we have this little guy here. He's out shopping too. Look, hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, you betcha. And then we have another great example right here, a 2018 BMW M4. Another example, skip the latest and the greatest. They're not actually that much better. They have the S58, this one's the S55, and some would argue this is even a better drivetrain. They sound great, they go great, and this is honestly probably the best looking M4 of all time. But here, these started out around $75–80,000 US. Canadian, you'd have to spend probably 105, 110 grand to get into a brand new M4 like this. But look, a lot of these M4s by BMW, you get the carbon wing, you get big, beautiful deep dish rims, of course, one touch accent in. You also get a carbon fiber roof, almost like that BMW M5 next to it. Beautiful. Look, it has this nice little gap right here. Isn't that pretty cool? Of course, the M badges right here, you have the M4 look there. But it's another great example of one of the best engines that BMW's built in a long time. The old N55, well, they built the S55, which is a hot sport version of that engine, and they put it in this. Instead of the single turbo twin scroll, this one, the S55, actually has 2 turbos, double the fun, double the performance. This is an absolute spectacular vehicle, and for about $80,000 US, now you can get into one of these at 2018. Now you're about 5–6 years old, and now you're finding lots of these with decent miles, 20–25,000 miles, maybe as much as 30,000 miles. You can find lots of these now for in that range of about 50% of the original value. Seems like a great deal to me. Just understand the ins and outs, make sure you've got a great service history, because before you get into the older luxury cars, make sure you're getting into one that's reliable and not going to be a real eyesore. My recommendation is avoid the DCT, get into the manual gearbox, which you can get in this generation of the M4. Get a proper pre-purchase inspection done from your local BMW shop. Do a Carfax, car proof, make sure there's no accident history. Make sure you know who's registered it, where it's been registered. And even better, if you can buy it from a private sale, then you can probably get it right from the horse's mouth. That person's going to give you all the paperwork, the service history, and that's ultimately what you want. Because with a car like this, high performance engine and drivetrain, it's a lot of car for the money, especially if you're only getting this for, you know, $35–40,000, when in fact brand new it was $85,000. This is an absolute phenomenal deal, but you just want to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. See, the problem is way too many people value warranty. They value brand new cars, and they're willing to pay an arm and 3 legs to get it, when in reality you don't need to do that. Remember, think about this. If you're saving $20,000 or $30,000 on a vehicle just because you bought it 2 years later, and even if you can get some CPO, and maybe you can't, that's not even the point. What if something goes, all of a sudden you blow a module, boom, because it's a common fact with one of these vehicles. Okay, so you spend the 6 grand, move on. Okay, all of a sudden, boom, you blow a gearbox. Okay, that's 15 grand. Now you're up to where you're almost cutting even. Okay, maybe you have another failure, or maybe you have premature brake wear. Okay, boom, got to do a set of brakes, another 5 grand. Now you're pretty much cutting even. But there's a lot of potential big failures that you can absorb just for the sake of not having to buy that car brand new, because a brand new vehicle and the full warranty in many cases is overrated unless you're buying a real money pit. And certain vehicles that are unknown with high levels of technology, for example, the latest Range Rover and Land Rover products, you probably don't want to gamble too much outside of warranty. And I've made videos that actually tell you specifically which models you don't want to own outside of warranty. But if you do your homework, you watch Exoticcar Playplace, you're going to quickly find out where some of the wins are, some of the losses, and why I'm always about getting the biggest bang for your buck. And with all of that said, be sure to check out that video. Very popular, but why these are some of the worst luxury vehicles. You're going to want to dump them way before warranty. Hope to see each and every one of you on the next one. We'll see you all real soon. Bye-bye.